What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean P. the Blunt guy. Hey! And we are back with another One Piece reaction. Today, Threevil will be giving us a Enel theory, right? It's been a while since we really got anything from Enel. The title of this video is You'll Never Believe Why Enel is About to Arrive at Egghead Island. Now, before we get into this theory, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Also, let me know down in the comments your thoughts. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? What did I miss? Let me know down in the comments. Also, follow me on Twitch so you can engage with me in real time as I go live. If you want to get at me directly, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and join the Discord. The Discord is probably going to be the best place to get at me because that's usually where I'm the most active. And if you want to send me content like the video we're about to watch today, I have a submission channel in the Discord for you guys. And if you want to potentially join a future discussion stream or join like a future stream in general, make sure you are a member of the Discord because that is something exclusive to the members of my Discord. But okay, all right, so like I said, the title of today's video is You'll Never Believe Why Enel is About to Arrive at Egghead Island, and this is from Threevil. I've done a lot of it. I've reacted to a lot of his content. Lately, not as often as I was maybe a couple months ago, like a year ago. But gotta show Threevil that love. But speaking of Enel, right? Enel is always an intriguing character to discuss in this series, right? Like we was introduced to him back in Skypiea, and we haven't really heard anything. Well, aside from the cover story, we have gotten some Enel covers or some Enel updates through the cover stories, right? And we learned that Enel, as far as we know, is on the moon, right? He's learning secrets, reading hieroglyphs and stuff like that on the moon. He met these little moonanites. I think that's what they're called. These little moonites. They're like little moon androids that were, I guess, created by the sky races when they used to all live on the moon, and then eventually they left, leaving the moonites on the moon as well. Enel discovered those, and I guess got them operational, right? So we also seen some space pirates on the moon in the cover story. So obviously Enel been pretty busy on the moon, right? So but how does that translate to the current story where we're at, right? Like we've seen cover stories eventually come to fruition in the main story, right? One of them being the CP9 agents, Rob Lucci, Kaku, them guys, after being defeated by the Straw Hats in this lobby, they had a cover story trying to escape the world government and the Marines. Eventually, that led to Lucci joining CP0 and pretty much getting a job with the world government again, right? So that's one. Then we also have the current cover story that has been uh integrating in the main story as well. Because we started at Whole Cake Island. We started with some mystery figures showing up at Whole Cake Island, and then we learned that Germa was always also going to Whole Cake Island in order to rescue Nichiji and Yonji, who were locked up. So Reiju and Ichiji went to go save their sibling, right? And then eventually that cover story evolved into some the Blackbeard pirates, Van Augur and Aokiji both going to pretty much kidnap Puddin. And then we see in the main story, Blackbeard has Puddin, right? After Van Augur pretty much returned. And then it turns into a whole mad story, which eventually we're in Egghead Island, which is, connected with Mads, right? Because we got Vegapunk. So all of that has a lot of, like, that cover story has a lot of main story ramifications. So I'm pretty intrigued to see where the Enel story, the Enel cover story eventually comes back into the main story, right? See if his cover story has any actual ramifications in the main story. So Egghead Island, I actually considered it, right? Like, could Enel return at Egghead Island? We know that Enel might know a lot of secrets on the moon. With that information, somebody like Vegapunk could probably do some good with the information that Enel knows. So if Enel does return, it might be a good idea to have him and Vegapunk kind of bounce ideas off of, possibly, right? I don't know if Enel would return, like, based on where the arc is and where we're at. I don't know if Enel will return unless he is revealed to be this mystery ally, possibly. Could it be him? I think one thing that would make him make sense, like one explanation, is who let down the defenses of the Labo Stratum. Like, who let down those defenses, right? Someone with electric abilities, possibly. I mean, if Enel turns out to be this mystery ally, it would make sense, like, if he was the one to let down the defenses, right? But I don't know. I don't know if I think if I believe that the mystery ally is indeed Enel, and I don't know if I don't know if there's enough space for Enel in this arc, because I don't think this arc is going to be too much longer, right? So how would Enel fit into Egghead Island? So let's see what Threevil has to say. Obviously he has some thoughts about this. So let's see what he has to say.
There's an ancient energy source that he's trying to get a hold of. Fans have speculated this energy source is Dreams, Sun God Nika, Joy Boy, Devil Fruits, Lunarian
Hold on,
Fire.
let me rewind.
Vegapunk has revealed there's an ancient energy source that he's trying to get a hold of.
Yeah,
Fans have speculated this
facts.
energy source is Dreams, Sun God Nika, Joy Boy, Devil Fruits, Lunarian Fire, and every other silly option in the book. But today I promise to prove to you why the ancient energy source Vegapunk is talking about is electricity. Like, haven't you noticed that nothing on the blue
I don't know. I don't think we. I think Threevil likes to dismiss certain ideas that he don't agree, but sometimes I don't think he does well disproving those theories. But I'll give him benefit of the doubt. I give him the benefit of the doubt, but like, when it comes to this ancient energy, I don't know. As far as what it is, I don't know, but I think it could be the. I really hate having to throw that around because everybody thinks they know what the One Piece is, right? So like, I'm real hesitant to say I think the energy is the One Piece, but I'm gonna just say this. I'm not gonna say I believe that the energy is indeed the One Piece, but I do believe this eternal flame. I do believe that it has some end game, like, ramifications. I think it has something to do with the end game. Be it, it's at Laugh Tale. I think it could potentially be part of the One Piece. Maybe it has. Maybe you need the eternal flame in order to operate the ancient weapons. I think it's at this point, I think that this eternal flame is super important. And I don't know if I would consider it electricity, right? Because electricity at this point, I would think is common in the series. I would think that electricity is common. You know, how do you use Dendemushis? Like, what are they not running off electricity? Maybe they're not. I don't know, but that's a genuine question. Does the Dendemushis work off electricity? Like the Dendemushis that act like projectors, that we see projecting visuals like a TV. Are they not working as electricity? The Dendemushis that act like communication networks, are they not ran by electricity? You know what I'm saying? So is electricity not a common resource within the world of One Piece? I would think it is. I would think it is,
Blue planet is powered by electricity. We literally had to go to an ancient city on the moon to see mechanical soldiers powered by electricity. And those little guys are foreshadowing the mechanical soldier on Egghead being powered by electricity. And that isn't even half of this theory video today, because I have a mountain pile of concrete evidence that I have not yet revealed. So basically,
is like Kuma, because there's speculation that Kuma and the ancient giant are connected. So does that mean Kuma is... How is Vegapunk's laboratories? How do they operate if they do not have electricity? You know what I'm saying? How are they operating if electricity isn't a common thing? Like, genuinely curious. I'm genuinely curious. I could be wrong. Maybe there's some other energy sources that the people of One Piece use, like Vegapunk especially. But I would think most of the technology in Vegapunk's lab is ran by electricity. I would think that.
Enel's gonna return to the story to enlighten Vegapunk on why it's a complete no-brainer that the ancient energy of the One Piece world is electricity. But before we jump into that, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to never miss the best One Piece theory videos on YouTube. To start off, chapter 1062. This is the chapter we see holograms on Egghead and come to find out they are made of light. Now this was misconstrued and misunderstood by a lot of fans as they think it was electricity. But no, it's made out of light, just like some of the powers that the pacifistas have. And this has me thinking,
yeah, that is true. It was made out. I assumed it was made out of light. Like light, yeah, it's made out of light. Like light is like holograms are indeed light, right? It's like light being projected from something, from like a projector to create a hologram. So yes, they are made out of light. But where I would disagree with Threevil, because yes, he's right. He is right that those holograms are made of light. And I'm not disputing that. I completely 100% agree with that. How do the projectors that are projecting the holograms, how are the holograms themselves, like the projectors, how are they operating? Because light does not power stuff. Light does not fuel things. Light is more of a result of like light rays pretty much reflecting into your eyes, right? That's light. But in order for these hologram projectors to operate, they need some type of fuel source to power them. And that's where I would say electricity is powering the holograms in order to project the light. You know what I mean? So I believe Threevil is right, but I think he is kind of missing, I think he's missing that, like what is powering the projectors of these holograms? Because I don't think light is powering the projectors. I think light is just what's being emitted from the projectors.
Like, wait, why is there no electronics on the blue planet? Not a single one. Like in Water 7, we see that all their machinery is powered by water. We see that the steam train is powered by steam. We see windmills powered by wind. Hell, we even see machinery in Marijua powered by humans. And we could take this a step further. Frankie, the cyborg of the Straw Hats, is literally powered by cola. What a literal joke. Everything in the One Piece blue planet world is powered by everything except electronics, except electricity. So let's...
I don't know. Because it was never explicitly stated what Vegapunk's laboratory is powered by. I don't recall it. It doesn't seem to be powered by like Steam or all these other places are powered by it. Most of that stuff most of the inventions at Egghead Island seem pretty much like electronics to me. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong. I could be wrong. You know, maybe Threevil proves that Vegapunk's lab isn't powered by electronics. Maybe, maybe there's something that I'm missing that Threevil might have to prove that it's not powered by electronics or electricity. But most of that technology seems like it's powered by electricity. I'm just saying that. I'm gonna just say, and it wasn't like, as far as I remember, it wasn't explicitly stated that it wasn't powered by electronics. I'm just saying, I think Threevil might be off on this. I think he might be off on this.
Let's keep that detail in mind. Let's hang on to that for a second. Now, moving on to a different topic, Nolan. Now, this was a famous pirate. He sailed from island to island. He was pretty much a doctor, writing a legendary tale. One fact we know about Nolan is in his journal, he said it was the year 1120. Now, keep that in mind. That was 400 years ago. Nolan lived 400 years ago. So adding 1120 plus 400, you get 1520. But also remember, we're in the post-time skip 2 years later. So therefore, doing all the math, the current One Piece world is in the year 1522. Now, comparing this to real life, there was no electronics, there was no electricity prior to the late 1800s. So if we compare the One Piece world being in the 1500s to our real world, it makes sense why nothing on the blue planet is powered by electricity. And we could take this a step further. All of the pirates in the One Piece world are based off of 17th century pirates. But remember, electric engineering wasn't until the 1800s. So the world of One Piece, at least the blue planet, does not have access to electricity. That is abundantly undeniable. Now, moving on to chapter 1065, we make it to Egghead. We're in the labo phase. We're in the factories of Egghead. Come to find out, Lilith literally tells us that Egghead Island is built off of fire. It uses fire as an energy source. Fire is a major energy source in the One Piece world, and they even use it to light things up. Think about every chandelier, every candle in the One Piece world. They were
Okay, so yeah, it's powered by fire, right? Like fire is what powers it, right? But now, correct me if I'm wrong. Fire could convert into electricity. If I could be wrong about it. I'm not too sure. I'll let him explain. But okay. I'll let him explain.
lit up via fire, not electricity. Again, there's not a single place on the blue planet that uses electricity. So what the world of One Piece needs to go through and experience is electric engineering. This will make factories better, this will make gathering resources easier. They need electricity. Meaning using fire as an energy source is a thing of the past, they need to move on to electricity. Moving on, in chapter 1065, Shaka says that the giant robot is 900 years old. We know that the giant robot on Egghead isn't the only robot in the One Piece world, because on the moon we see robots all around land. Not only that, but Oda said that Enel went to an ancient city and he also found hieroglyphics. It seems like Oda is painting a connection from the robots on the moon to the robot on Egghead Island. They look the same, they act the same. I would even go as far as to say that the giant robot on Egghead used to be the leader of the robots on the moon. And later on in chapter 1066, Luffy says that there's no place to ride inside the robot. That makes perfect sense. Again, think about the robots on the moon. Those little guys could have fit little dwarves in them to control them, but that wasn't the case. Professor Tsukimi operated on them and they were just basic regular robots. So seeing how the giant robot in Egghead doesn't have a compartment for someone to control him, you can't say robots in the One Piece world are used as armor. They are their own entity, which is further proving that the giant robot on Egghead is deeply connected to the robots on the moon. And the very next chapter is when Vegapunk starts talking about Punk Records. He says he wants to create something that everyone has access to and has unlimited information. I'm glad a lot of fans picked up on this, but it seems like Vegapunk wants to create the internet. Now again, the One Piece world is based off 17th century pirates.
Yeah, that is facts. Vegapunk does want to create the internet, which would be wild right there. But the internet wasn't around at that time either, though. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if we reflect in real world, like into One Piece world, then that mean I would think that the internet would never exist in the One Piece world. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much. So, I mean, again, he did point out that Vegapunk's lab is powered by fire and not necessarily electricity. Now, I don't know if it's like if it's actually powered by fire, or it's if the fire is converted into electricity. You know what I'm saying? Like how does that work? You know what I mean?
Pirates. And according to Nolan's logbook, the current year in One Piece is 1522. So taking those two items and comparing it to the real world, we know that in the 1500s or 1700s, we did not have the World Wide Web, which again further explains why Vegapunk needs electricity. But we're gonna take this even further. I'm about to leave you completely mind blown. You're gonna drop a like on this video. Now remember, in the past, Nolan said his year was 1120. We add 400 to that because it was 400 years ago. And then you add another 2 for the post-time skip of One Piece. So therefore, post-time skip One Piece is in the year 1522. But you know how they say that Vegapunk is 500 years advanced? If you add 1522 to 500, you get the year 2022, the year that Vegapunk was revealed in the manga. I'm completely mind blown. Vegapunk is living in 2022. But anyways, regardless, we know that the World Wide Web, the internet, is powered by electricity. Vegapunk's not going to be able to create the World Wide Web without electricity. That same chapter in 1067, Vegapunk says that the Iron Giant...
I mean, that does make sense though. You need electricity in order to create, I guess, Vegapunk's vision of the World Wide Web. So that does make sense. But I don't know, man. I don't know if but I mean, it would make sense though that electricity is needed within the world, right? Like electricity could definitely change the game when we talking about the One Piece verse, right? It could definitely change the game on how, because he, one thing he has made a point of is that the rest of the One Piece world doesn't have electricity. They run off of steam and other sources. So if all these islands got electricity, like how like that would definitely change, like elevate people's lives and stuff. So Threevil might be on to something. Threevil might be on to something.
Giant was ordered to be taken down and destroyed. And we know this because it went to Marijois and it attacked Marijois. But we have to ask, why would that happen? Again, the answers lie in Enel's cover story. When Enel finds a mechanical soldier on the ground on the moon, he shocks it with electricity and it boots back up. Not only that, but it went to the battlefield and continued fighting. So I believe in the past, someone with the Goro Goro no Mi, or electricity, powered up that robot and it continued doing its task like the robot on the moon. But then we have to ask ourselves, why would he go to Marijois? Why did he boot back up and start fighting? He used to fight in Marijois for the Void Century. Now, one other cool detail I noticed about the giant robot on Egghead.
Let me catch what he said. I kind of missed what he said.
But then we have to ask ourselves, why would he go to Marijois? Why did he boot back up and start fighting? He used to fight in Marijois for the Void Century. Now, one other cool detail I noticed about the giant robot on Egghead is there's some kind of spear in him that probably defeated him. Now, again, bringing up Enel's cover story, we know that one of the mechanical soldiers on the moon was stabbed in the same place and had a long rod sticking through him. I believe this is Oda's way of foreshadowing what happened. A space pirate tried to kill the robot on the moon, like how a space pirate tried to kill the robot at Marijois. Now,
a space pirate killing that. So would that mean that the space pirates were involved with, like these aliens? Were they involved in the conflicts on the world, right? Like in the world on Earth, were they involved in those conflicts? Did they help the 20 kingdoms? Because I would think that big robot probably, like, most likely would have. Maybe he fought for the ancient kingdom, right? Against the 20 kingdoms. But hold on. I think that Iron Giant would have been defeated after he woke up at Marijois. So when he was stabbed with that sword, maybe it was at Marijois. But that's if those Iron Giants are indeed the same Iron Giants. Like the one that we seen at Egghead is the same Iron Giant that went to Mary Joa, right? If it is, then whoever stabbed it, it had to be at Mary Joa, whoever like stabbed that sword in. But if it's a different one, like a different Iron Giant that fought, let's say, back during the Void Century, right? Then I would think it was active within a war or some type of battle, meaning it meaning like whoever stabbed it, it was during that battle. So if it was one of these aliens, I would think that Threevil was saying that the aliens participated in said war, possibly. I don't know.
Later on in chapter 1067, they say that the giant robot is referred to as a mechanical soldier. Again, this is so abundantly clear. All those robots on the moon are soldiers. Look at their designs. Have you ever wondered why they wear that kind of gear, why they wear those kinds of outfits? It's because they're all soldiers. You have a Russian soldier, Japanese soldier, American soldier, and a gladiator. These are mechanical soldiers. So again, those little robots on the moon are connected to the big robot on a.
I actually never caught that. I never caught how each of those little robots were like influenced by different country militaries and stuff. Good catch, Threevil. Definitely good catch.
Egghead. Also in chapter 1067, they say that the energy source would be a dynamic source. This one's kind of self-explanatory, just do your research. Electricity is a dynamic power source. You have dynamic electricity. This one's self-explanatory, it fits the niche of a dynamic power source. Now to all the people who say that ancient energy source is dreams, wills, desires, joy boy, whatever, explain to me how that is a dynamic power source. I bet you.
Yeah, I don't think this ancient energy source is like some weird concept. I think it's actual energy source. I don't think it's like dreams or wills. I think it's a real energy source of some sort, you know.
You didn't take that into account, but I have to. I don't believe in cognitive bias. The very next chapter, 1068, Vegapunk says he needs this ancient energy source. Now again, we're concluding that it must be electricity. So let's look at Enel. Did you know that Enel's name is based on Ener or Eneru, which is a pun on the word energy? Yeah, electricity, Enel, that's the ancient energy, folks. And like we said, there's no...
I mean, it's common knowledge that electricity is energy though. You know what I mean? So... to me, that was that wasn't the best, because we know electricity is energy. So Enel's name meaning energy, because when his ability is pretty much energy, you know what I'm saying? Kind of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It kind of makes sense. It's like Aokiji, I think his devil fruit is like the chill fruit or something like that. I could be wrong, but I think in English is pronounced the chill fruit or something. And ice chills things, right? It's just really just kind of saying like, well, but that's not Aokiji's name. Never mind. I kind of take that back. That was a bad explanation. But still, it's like Enel is his devil fruit is pretty much based off of energy. Right, it is energy. Electricity is energy. So, Oda naming Enel energy, or like Eneru or whatever you could translate that into energy, it just kind of speaks to what he is, right? You know, because a lot of there's names, like people with names that kind of mirrors what they're about, right? Like some characters, some of their names mirror what they're about, you know. And Enel, his ability is energy, right? That's what he's about, is electricity, energy. So, but you know, I'm not completely turned off on this theory. You know, it does make sense that energy would be this energy, or that Enel and electricity would be, not Enel specifically, but electricity would be the power source that Vegapunk was talking about. Like, I'm actually starting to really buy into it a little more and more, right?
no electricity on the blue planets. The only time we saw that was on the moon. And Oda even called the location an ancient city and said that electricity is an energy. It's so abundantly clear that the ancient energy is electricity. Now let's look at Enel as a character and let's see if there's any metaphors or symbolism in his character. Well, we know that Enel is an electric man and he hates Shandora. Looking at Shandora, what does it mean? Where does it come from? Shandora is a pun on the word chandelier or candle. What are those powered by in the One Piece world? Flames, fire. So now when you take a look at the electricity man Enel and seeing how he's trying to surpass and extinguish the flame of Shandora, chandelier, it makes sense why the One Piece world's gonna move from flames to electricity. That's why Oda says phrases like light of Shandora or flame of Shandora. Now one interesting fact about Enel is he found his devil fruit 6 years before the One Piece story. And we know that on the moon they use electric technology. So I hypothesized that there was a man on the moon using Enel's fruit and he thought he was God, but he had to leave the moon because they were lacking natural resources and he ended up in the Sky Islands. That's where he died and that's how Enel found the fruit. And speaking about his use of electricity, what else did Enel use electricity for? The Arc Maxim. Now if I'm not mistaken, I believe he had the blueprints for the Arc Maxim and he spent years trying to build it, but regardless, there's an interesting detail I noticed about the Arc Maxim that I've never seen anyone point out, and I noticed this years ago. On the Arc Maxim, they have the world government logo on it. Why does this electronic machine have the world government logo on it? Explain that to me. Unless they were using
I mean, it's not exactly the world government logo. Like, let's be serious. But it does look similar, very, very similar. You know what I'm saying? To me, what that says is that there was an original society or something, you know, or maybe community that where this logo came from that might have inspired some of the future logos, right? Like the world government logo. But I mean, that's a good catch though. You know, that's a good catch. So, and I'm pretty sure that's what Threevil was saying as well. Like that symbol, like maybe the world government symbol as well as the symbol that Enel is using came from somewhere, right? Like that's where I'm sure that Threevil was about to go.
Electronics in the Void Century and had to wipe it out from mankind. Like, doesn't this seem so poetic? The world government is on this electronic ship, he goes to the moon, finds mechanical soldiers, sees hieroglyphics, gets a robot army, and possibly comes back down from the moon. Is Enel gonna come down from the moon with a robot army? Maybe if that happens, we could see Luffy.
I think that's possible. I think we could see Enel. I do believe Enel is coming. I do think Enel will make a return to the story. I don't know what fashion or what. I think whenever he comes back, I think he's going to bring back some very important information.
Luffy versus Enel 2.0. And I know that sounds wacky and wild, but you gotta hear me out. There's too many ties between electricity and the ancient energy Vegapunk was talking about. There's way too many. So if Vegapunk...
He said Luffy and Enel 2.0. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to fight next time they speak. I think Enel could potentially return as an ally to give some important type information. Like I think maybe not. I mean, he could also return as an enemy. You know, somebody with a god complex ain't going to just be willing to work with you, right? So it is very likely that Enel could return as an ally or enemy, but I think his purpose, though, I think he's going to reveal some stuff that we need to know, that especially that Luffy might need to know, or maybe not Luffy per se, but Robin. You know, I think Enel could come back and reveal some things that could be very important to like Luffy's ultimate goal and maybe possibly even like Robin's ultimate goal as well in learning the history of the world. So, but I do believe Enel, I believe somebody has to be the bridge to the information we got on the moon and everything going on the earth. And I think the only person that could possibly bridge that is Enel. I think Enel could be that bridge. And I'm confident that he will be that bridge. I don't know how Oda brings him back, but I think it's possible that we could be seeing Enel again.
Vegapunk is gonna discover this energy source and he's gonna harness it, I think the best way to do it is by having Enel return to the story. Now, I can't exactly tell you why he's gonna go to Egghead or how that's gonna happen. I don't think you can necessarily prove that. Like, imagine the scenario, there's like a big explosion on Egghead and there's like a shadowy figure, the chapter ends, and boom, the next chapter, Enel's here. And Enel will use electricity. That's how Vegapunk will discover the ancient energy source, and that will power up the Iron Giant that we already saw. But anyways, moving on, in chapter 1068, Vegapunk says,
I mean, could Enel be the mystery ally? You know what I'm saying? Could Enel be the mystery ally? Could we see Enel versus Kizaru, the battle of the energy fruits? I think that could be a good battle. Now, I know, this is going to sound like this is just me being biased. I get it. And to a degree, it is somewhat me being biased, but it's really not, though. It's really, I think Kizaru has the superior devil fruit between Enel and Kizaru, because light is more, I would say light is superior to electricity. It's faster. Electricity gives off light, but electricity is a bit more limiting. But even though we see with Enel, it's definitely, Enel uses it very well. But I do believe light to be the superior devil fruit ability. But light and electricity are a little bit different. So like electricity, I want to say is like a plasma, where light is more of a, or is light a plasma? I don't know. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know in the comments. One of them is like plasma and the other one's like energy or something. It might be electricity that might be the plasma, if I remember correctly. I don't remember.
That the world is brimming with this energy, and we can see that his face is very bright. This is symbolism for electricity. We all know what light bulbs are. We all know that lightning strikes are very bright. Just look at the island of Skypiea. All throughout the Skypiea arc, when Enel was doing thunder strikes, it got very bright, and that's how Vegapunk's face is lighting up. This is Oda's way of hinting that the energy is something bright. This is a literal way of foreshadowing and hinting. So in this context, not only does electricity fit in a literal sense, but also a metaphorical sense. That same chapter, they say the machine soldiers powered by this energy source. Again, comparing the giant robot on Egghead to the robots on the moon, we know that those guys were powered by electricity. So I hypothesize that electricity is gonna boot up the big robot that is on Egghead. Even later on, Lilith mentions how she needs an undying flame for the sun of Egghead. Now let's look at this from a metaphorical lens. They need a sun, they need a battery to power the islands. They can't use fire forever. So a comparison I'm gonna make is what Enel did on the moon. When Enel got to the moon and he was powering up the robots and powering up the city, he lit up a light bulb that looks like the sun. So therefore, the energy he used on the moon, which is electricity, powered the sun of the moon. This is all about metaphors and reading in between the lines. Remember, Vegapunk doesn't know what electricity is. Later in 1068, Vegapunk's saying he dug too deep into the past, and he was referring to the ancient energy source. So it seems like in the Void Century, they had electronic technology and they wiped it from the planet. But seeing how there's an ancient city on the moon, and their technology is powered by an energy called electricity, the whole equation is complete. Vegapunk also says he will be erased like Ohara. Now, why was Ohara erased? Because they knew about the Void Century, because they knew about things they shouldn't. The world government does not want Vegapunk to create a World Wide Web. They don't want him to have electricity. That puts the power in the hands of the people. I think if anyone in the Blue Sea was gonna have electricity, it would be the world government. They would use it for their own purposes. In fact, maybe they do have electronic technology in the world government.
Yeah, I could see that being the case. The world government having electronic, like let's say if electricity is the source that Threevil was talking about, like maybe world government didn't want the ancient kingdom to have it because they'd be too strong, right? So they went to war with them and took it, right? Maybe they took it. If electricity is this ancient source that Threevil was talking about, then I can see that being the case.
Think about Lelucia. When Imu erased that country, he used 16 holy beams to eradicate it. Those look like and reminds me of the beams that Enel used in Skypiea to eradicate islands. So seeing how the Arc Maxim was powered by electricity and it had the world government logo on it, perhaps the world government already has electronic technology. And like, Oda is too goated, bro. He foreshadowed all of this in Skypiea and Enel's cover story. Like, just take a look at Enel. He's a person who calls himself God, he has 5 followers, and he tried to wipe out a winged race. That is the same thing Imu did. They think they're a god, they have 5 followers, they wiped out a winged race. It is my sincere belief that the ancient power source Vegapunk was talking about is electricity, and we're gonna see this come to truth and come to light with Enel running into Vegapunk. Thank you so much for watching the video. I have a few videos on screen that you might like. They're complete banger theories, concrete facts, and evidence. Don't forget to leave.
Shout out to Threevil. I'ma like it. Make sure y'all go show Threevil some love. All right, so he makes a great case. I mean, what can I say? He makes a great case. Threevil, that's Threevil's effect. You know, a lot of times I go into watching his videos. You know, sometimes I go into his videos disagreeing from the start, and then I come out at the end and I agree with him, right? So Threevil does have he does have a good persuasive side to him, but now as far as electricity being the energy source, in some ways it does make sense, right? In some ways it does make sense, and he could be right. My pushback is Egghead Island, right? My pushback is Egghead Island. I know it was stated that it was powered by flame, but it doesn't really make sense for all that technology at Egghead Island based on how we know electronic stuff to work. You know, I've never seen any type of invention powered by fire, of all things. You know, like fire can energize stuff, right? Like you could light a fire, like a train, right? Like a train, you need fire, but you use coals. You throw coals into the fire, and it powers the fire creates steam, and then the steam powers the train, right? So fire powers things, but it kind of works hand in hand with steam. But how is fire exactly powering the inventions of Egghead Island? A lot of them just seem too electronic-y for me. That's not a word, but that's just going to be the word I use to kind of explain my point. Most of the stuff at Egghead Island seem like electronics. I don't see how fire is powering those things up. Now, yes, it was stated that fire, like I'm not going to argue, because it was stated that fire powers the island, right? But is fire just kind of powering it to and it being converted into electronics or electricity? Like that's the route I'm more inclined to go with, because a lot of the stuff that we see at Egghead Island does not seem like it could be powered from fire. You know what I'm saying? Like the power that powers it might have came from fire, but I don't see fire running through each of the technology that we see at Egghead Island. It just, like, if One Piece is working on like real world physics, for the most part at least, like, when have you ever seen something in real life, like a cell phone, for example, powered by fire, right? Like, you never seen that, or just anything, any electronics that we use. When have you seen it powered by fire? When was there like a invention that wasn't like a steam powered invention? When have you seen it powered by fire? You know what I mean? Like, how does fire power the holograms that we've seen? You know, I think I'm more inclined to believe that the fire that Lilith was talking about is being converted into electricity, which is powering all those things that we seen in the lab. I'm hitting my mic. All those things in the lab at Egghead Island. It just makes sense to me. Like, I don't see how fire is powering those, like the technology. I could see fire being the source, right? Where you have like a power generator, right? And fire being what's generating the electricity that's powering the island on Egghead. But again, I don't really have anything to back up what I'm saying. Again, I didn't prepare for this video, right? So I'm spitballing here, y'all. I'm spitballing, you know. So we kind of got to work off what was said from Lilith that the island was powered by fire, but again, it doesn't make sense that fire would be powering, right, like running through the actual technology devices of Egghead Island. So, but he does make a compelling argument. It's just I don't know if just logically in my head, based how we know electricity and fire to work and how we know electronics to work, I don't know if I believe that Egghead isn't being powered. Like if electricity isn't running through Egghead to power like all the devices, but the original source that's generating this energy that's powering Egghead Island is fire. Like, yes, I believe that is the case, but I think electricity is running through Egghead Island. But again, I can't prove it. I don't have any anything to disprove what Three Wu is saying. So I'm kind of just going to have to kind of just take his word for it in this case. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. Y'all let me know though. Y'all let me know what y'all think, because this is one of them. This is a tough argument right here, a tough debate, because Lilith did say the fire does power Egghead, so kind of just gotta take it for what it is. So in that sense, I kind of gotta give the argument to Threevil. But realistically, physics wise, right? I don't see how fire is making all the technology at Egghead actually work. Because I've never seen a device like a standalone device like a cell phone, right? I've never seen it powered by fire. I've never seen fire really power anything that's not like steam operated. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna just let y'all go at it. Y'all let me know what y'all think, because this is one of those situations where I'm like, real world logic kind of makes me disagree with it, but then I kind of got to go with what's in the story. And plus it's One Piece, so One Piece doesn't always necessarily work on real world logic. So maybe it is fire that's powering all that. But yeah, that is pretty much all I got for the video today. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Comment down below your thoughts on the video today. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? I know this one was a little difficult for me, right? Because logic is telling me like my logic is telling me like Threevil, no, I'm pretty sure Egghead is operated on electricity. But what was said in the story kind of contradicts that. So y'all let me know down in the comments. Also follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch so you could catch me live. You can engage with me in real time. If you want to get at me directly, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and join the Discord. That is where I'm the most active at, is the Discord. So it's the best place to get at me. If you want to send me videos to react to, I have a submission channel in the Discord, so make sure you're part of Discord. If you want to be part of a future discussion stream, then make sure you are a member of the Discord. But yeah, anyway, y'all, it's your boy Sean P, the Bluff God. Y'all have a good day. I am out of here. Peace.